Okay. So, hi everyone. So today, what we're going to be talking about is AI in business and how to kind of ideally think about things that we can use and different tools that we can use to grow our business within AI. So, thinking about like, okay, what is a tool that might help me be able to do this or do that? And I'm just going to walk through those different tools that you may know about or you may not know about, and you just let me know like what you think about those tools, if you've used them before or anything like that. So, just a quick introduction about myself. My name is Shadeira Nesmith. I am an educator, I'm a founder, and I've been in the education and tech space for about 8 years now. So, as an educator, I had the opportunity to work with students from ages 4 years old to adult learners that were 60 plus, whether they were transitioning to tech, whether they were just wanting to learn more about their digital literacy skills, or just be able to identify the gaps of the changing that tech is having. So if they are working in a job that's not in tech, but their job involves tech, they wanted to learn about tech. And then as far as working with younger students, K through 12, my main focus there was to be able to just introduce those students to technology, whether that would be coding a game, whether that be through robotics, different things of maybe building an app or a website. And then from my time doing things like that, and especially working with younger kids, that helped me become a founder. So as a founder, I am a owner of an educational company for younger kids where we do early exposure within financial literacy, tech, and graphic design. So making sure that those students don't get left behind within this digital age that's growing, especially things with AI, which is the main topic for today. Okay, so this is like a prompt that I thought of when we try to think about things that we're building or things that we want to build. I think the main question that always comes up is what if? Like, what if I was able to have something that just wrote all of this for me? What if I can have somebody do this exact thing that I wanted it to do? So a lot of us have hopefully, or had that what if question, and hopefully we found a way to answer that. So sometimes we don't, but within our tools with AI now, they answer a lot of those what if questions that we have. So I'm here to kind of just show you different ways that those what if questions could be answered if they do come up within a situation like this. So the first, before we get into that, so just a bit of the agenda. So we'll go through a few what if scenarios. So about 4 or 5 of them with 4 or 5 different apps that can be used. Then we'll talk about some prompt engineering. I feel like prompt engineering is really important because what we tend to fall into is a lot of people are using these AIs or these chats, and they're like, this is not good. I'm not getting the results that I want. It's really generic or anything like that. But this really comes from the way we prompt. So the way we are feeding information into the AI. And if the information we're giving it is not good or detailed enough, it's not going to give us back what we need. And then we'll go into an app launch for a business. So what it looks like to launch an app for a business based off prompting the AI to create that for you. So, my first scenario of a what if. So, we say, what if I needed to send a quick email follow up after a job interview? So, most times when we do have job interviews, it's probably best to always send a follow up, whether you want the job, whether you don't want the job. It's just good practice of trying to see maybe what responses you might get back or anything like that. Also, say if you might not be a perfect fit for that job, and you sent a thank you or a follow up, more than likely they'll send you like another option, like, hey, we didn't pick you for this, but we want to send this to you. So even following up, even if you didn't get the job, or you weren't like the right candidate, is still a good thing to do. So what I did here is it's an AI tool called This is the icon for it. It's called Monica. So basically what this AI tool does is something that you can install inside of your Chrome. So if you're using the Chrome Explorer to browse the web and stuff, you can install this AI tool, and it basically will follow you on every web page that you go to that you type in some type of information, and will be able to rewrite that information. So say if I sent out a message, and the message was, I wanted to follow up and thank you for the meeting with me yesterday. I enjoyed getting to know more about the company. Looking forward to the next steps. Please let me know if you have any questions in the meantime. So this is a good message to kind of send out, something that's not too detailed and straight to the point, but sometimes this can be something that they're seeing often, or sometimes that's like, okay, this is just seems like a general message. So sometimes we want to kind of be more personable with these messages and kind of give more of our personality or show more about the exact company. So Monica is a great way to kind of do that and implement this um, into your writing. So what I would do is, can we see my switch of screens? Can I get somebody to like come off?
Yeah, we can see.
Okay. So, so if we go to my email here,
Oh,
um,
sorry. Did you say switching screens? No,
yeah, I switch
sorry,
screens.
we
Can you see
can't see
that?
anything. No.
Okay, so I'm gonna switch it. Can we see it now?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, so if I go into this email that I have here, and I already have this tool, this AI tool installed, so I'm gonna pop it up and it asks me, so it's gonna pull the message that it sees. So it already sees my message. I don't have to highlight it, but it knows that it's in my email already, and it knows that I wanna edit something from this email. So it's asking me, how would I tell it to modify it? So for me, I would say, can you make this more personal and add excitement for the job in a tech field? So ideally, also what you would want to do with something like this, you can also say the specific job that you are applying for. So it can even pull information about that exact role. So, oh, I'm applying for this role at this job. Can you pull out information about why this would be a good role for me? So this is a shorter prompt. Again, this can kind of be more in depth if you wanted to, but this would just be something in general, I would say. So now that I generate that information, not only does it give me a more detailed follow-up message, but it also gives me a subject line. So like, thank you for yesterday's meeting. And sometimes like when you take this information, so what you can also do is you can replace it. So it replaces the whole email, and then I would just fill in those missing parts. Maybe I want to say good morning or hi instead of dear. I would put the company's name and so on. Then it specifies the specific role or the different things that would be in that role that I'm excited to join or team or anything like that. So this is a great tool for if you want to write messages. I know a lot of times when people send emails, they might go to ChatGPT and like just put their message, be like, can you rewrite this or can you send an email? So you don't have to always do that, or you don't have to do that necessarily when you have something like Monica right inside of your email for you. Okay, so that's one tool that can be used. Another one that can be used is, I'm going to introduce it. So for this one, so this is for people who may want to start creating things for business when it comes to imagery. So creating different images for a business, or maybe you want to create a book or write a book or anything like that, and you don't have time to wait for an illustrator to build different things out, or maybe you don't have the money to pay for an illustrator. So this would be a great app to be able to create something. So with the book that I created, I was able to generate images based off of some prompt engineering with AI, and saying different things that I wanted it to appear as. So another thing that's really good with this image generating tool is that you also can get multiple images. So if an image doesn't work for you, it will keep going until it gets the type of image that you want. So the name of this tool is called Recraft. So say what if we wanted to generate an image of a kid on a computer for a children's book. So this is the application that would probably be best to use. Okay, so now if we look at Recraft, this is how Recraft is structured. So this is what um, I would say the user interface looks like. And then over here, you are able to select an image that you want. So the type of image. So do you want it to be more like realism? Do you want it to fit more of a cartoon style? And different things like that that you would want to generate for that specific thing. So say if I'm going to select a cartoon. So I'm going to do this and I'm going to say a kid on a computer. So sometimes with Recraft, you have to be detailed enough for them to generate it how you want. Like I could say a kid in a red shirt, a kid in a blue shirt. Let's see. But you don't want to be so detailed to the point where they just get like all crazy, because that has happened before where I asked like chat, like, hey, can you generate this type of prompt for image generator? And then they're like creating things that I've never seen before. So you can get really simple, but sometimes when you want more detail or anything, you can say, I want the kid to have blue eyes or anything like that. And it will be able to do that. You also can specify the race as well, because sometimes it might not always generate a specific race. So you can do that as well with this generator. So if I generate this, I said a red kid. I meant to say a red shirt. So it might give me a red kid. I don't know. But this is usually what you could do. Okay, so I put the kid in red, or it gave me a redhead. So this is ideally different things that you can do in order to generate different things. So if you are in a more creative field or anything, or you have things where you need to generate images for a presentation or a slideshow, this would be a really good application to get those detailed images that don't look exactly like ChatGPT's images that are usually generated. And then what you can do is you can save these images, so they have it where you can download it as like a PDF or a PNG file or so on. And I'm going to just show one more example with the same prompt, but for like a different type. So let's try to do let's do a studio and just see what we get. So I'm going to regenerate this. And then this would show it's giving me another redhead kid at a computer. Okay, so this again, if you're do things on social media and you need like imagery for that as well, this would be a great tool to do that with. So another what if we have is, what if I can get rated on how good my LinkedIn profile is? So this is kind of super important. And I think a lot of times when we are on LinkedIn or we all on these platforms and we're not getting the recognition as, or other people say they are, like, oh, I've gotten an email from someone for this job, or someone reached out to me on LinkedIn because they really like my profile, or they found me on here, and then you haven't experienced that same thing. It could be because the rating of your profile is really low. So in order to be able to fix that, there's something called, it's an AI tool called, give me 1 second, I'm going to pull it up. Okay. So it's an AI tool and it's called Career Flow. So it's called Career Flow AI. So they actually have a website that you could go to, but they also have a like a built-in that you can build into LinkedIn. So it only will pop up on your LinkedIn. So if you go to a different website, you won't see this career flow. So ideally what it can do is it can look through your entire LinkedIn page and scan it for you. And then once it scans it for you, it's able to identify different things that need to be changed, or different things that you can edit in order for it to be a better just be better to basically what you're looking for. So if you are looking for a job, or you do have a job and there's other opportunities that you are looking for just outside of work as well, what this can do is you can say, hey, can you help me rewrite a script or something for this headline that I have here. So it's able to generate different things based off that, and think about keywords or anything like that. What it also can do, So as you can see right now, I have like an 83. So it's telling me what's wrong. So some of my experience, maybe my experience needs to be updated. Maybe my bullet points are not detailed enough. Also the education, maybe it wants to know what year I graduated. I didn't add that in. So this is also just a great tool to be able to optimize your LinkedIn page. You also can do other stuff in Career Flow. It's outside of like if you go into, they have like a whole dashboard where it's able to put your resume through an ATS tracker and see if your resume will pass the ATS tracker. I know a lot of times within resumes as well, if you have two-sided resumes, like if you have like your skills and stuff on one side, then you have your job description on the other side. Sometimes the ATS won't be able to read it directly down, so it will flag your resume as something that's not well, or it might not be able to catch all the key terms that you have. So ideally, it's always best to just keep your resume, everything on like one page and not two-sided, just one side straight down. So if you have to go to a second page, it's better to go to a second page than try to fit everything on that one page, just so the ATS tracker can go through it. So this is also different things. It also sets up mock interviews for you and different things like that. And this is also, they have a lot of free features and then features you have to pay for, but a lot of the free features are really good as well. I'm going to stop right here. Is my time up?
No, you got 10 minutes.
Okay, let me try to speed through this because I'm like, wait, it says 2:50. Okay, 3 o'clock. Okay, got it. So because I have like so many of these. Okay, so this is another one. I'm just gonna quickly go through this. So what if? So this is another what if. So saying if you need to make like a presentation based off a meeting you had. So say you had a meeting and you wanted to make a presentation to present to maybe your other like colleagues or coworkers or anything. This is also really a popular one. So Gamma, I feel like a lot of people might know about Gamma or have used it before, because it's usually used for presentation creation, but you can also create presentations in Canva as well. So say you had a meeting, what you can do in Gamma is basically take that entire meeting or like some of those notes that you took for the meeting, and you could say, hey, I just had a meeting about this. Can you help me elaborate on the most important topics within this meeting or so on. So what I did here is I said, I had a meeting about helping kids read more in school. Can you elaborate on why this is important? So I didn't give it any details at all. I didn't even tell it about reading whatsoever. Or about the statistics of things, but it was able to pull from research. So you always don't have to be as detailed with a lot of this stuff because it'll also pull all that information for you. So if I generate this, now it's able to create this whole presentation that I can present to someone about reading. You also can change the images on this. You can edit it however you want, but this would just basically generate a PowerPoint for you with that information. Okay. So I think that's our last what if. Okay. So I can't see the chat, but if you can, if you can put in the chat a flower emoji, if you ever had a business idea, if you have a business idea right now, or if you're still thinking about it, or if you already created a business of your own outside of work, or you just have a business in general. You just put a flower in the chat for me. Okay. So this is now going into research and prompt engineering. So what this is talking about within these next few slides is how do you prompt something in order to get the exact results that you want. So I was able to build an application for a fitness app business based off of me being able to prompt and work with AI to help me build that. Okay. So the first thing that I did here is I asked chat, I said, what is a good idea for fitness, for someone on a fitness journey? Like, what would be a good app idea? So it was able to prompt me 10 different results that would be a good idea. So out of these 10 results, I looked through them. I saw which one that I thought would probably be best. And I said, okay, let me do number two. So number two talked about more of a gamified fitness app. So when you complete certain stuff, you get like a badge. It tells you how much water you're drinking. So I didn't tell it anything that I was really looking for. I just asked for it to give me an idea of what would be a good app for that. Okay, so now this is where prompt engineering comes in when we're working with different things. So now the first prompt wasn't a good prompt, but even though it gave me good results, it wouldn't be considered the best prompt because it wasn't enough details. Now, what I did is I took the example that they gave me for the app and I took basically, I copied and pasted, and I said, if I want to build an app for a business, Habit Streak Fitness, a gamified fitness app, and so on. What are some great things I would need to tell a developer or designer to include to make the app fun and engaging and not like every other fitness app platform? Okay, so now that I prompt that, so say if you're building an app and you might be a developer or you're not a developer, or you're a developer and not a designer, or a designer and not a developer, and sometimes when you're building these apps, it's really hard to get the exact results that you want. So it's easy to prompt and tell the prompt exactly what you want, and it's faster to get those results than actually working with someone sometimes. So what this next app is going to do is it's able to prototype exactly what you're asking for, and then if you need more help with the code or you need more help with the design, you can send this application to your designer or developer and say, hey, I was able to prototype this. Can you now fix this up? And what this has been called lately, I think, is vibe coding a little bit, because it would be you're coding with the chat, but you really don't know how to code. So this is kind of helping you develop something, but get help later on. So when I put that prompt in, it was able to prompt these results for me right here. And it said, okay, you would need an interactive meal plan, some fun progress, some recipe, meal prep, and so on. Okay. So the next app that I use to create that is called V0. So V0 is an application that strictly focuses on web design and app development. So I asked V0, I want to build an app. Is that possible? So it broke down different questions for me of like, what type of app do you want to build? What is the main purpose of it? The technologies and different things like that. So I told it, I was like, hey, can you simplify, this information for a developer or a designer? And these are the different things that I want. And this is the type of app that I want. So it was able to generate all that information for me and choose the different stack that I wanted to do. So it'd say, okay, this is for a platform for Android and iOS. Also, the tech stack that you are going to use is React Native. So thinking about all those little things that you would want, the colors and different things, I was able to pull a user interface from Behance. So I don't know if you've heard of any of you heard of Behance before, but it's like a kind of like a designer platform where people post like their designs. And I was able to find something on there and copy it. And I said, can you make my design look exactly like this with these colors? And from there, I was able to grow into whatever app that I wanted to create, which was this fitness app here. So if you can scan this code here, and you'll be able to explore the app a little bit from your phone, but I'm going to show you a brief example of it. So this is the app that I was able to build based off me prompting. So if I start and I can like sign in, I need to like sign in with Google. I don't think I can sign in with Google yet. So let me just. So this is not a fully functioning app. This is like a prototype of an app. So basically with this application here, what we would be able to do is still get information. You can actually use this app to do certain things, but the only thing that it won't like really store or save your information. So that's when a developer would come in and we say, hey, can you make this where people are actually being able to be updated, where they'll get notifications for their phone if I put this on the App Store. So as you can see, like it tells me today is Friday's workout. So this would be the workout for Friday. I would start the workout. It says the workout is active, and it counts down how much and different things like that. So this application was able to be built with me just prompting to AI that I wanted to build a fitness app, and I gave it the details that ChatGPT gave me in order to build it. Sorry, I'm not sharing that screen. This is the app if you didn't scan it. But this is the app that was being able to use. What I just showed is how it shows like the date, the time. If I go back home, it shows me today's for Friday's workout. And then I could start that workout and it'll count me down. Okay, so I didn't ask it to do any of these exact steps, but it was able to do that based off of what ChatGPT gave me. Okay. And I'm going to stop here. The last thing I had was just kind of us seeing how it prompt, but I'll send all of this information on LinkedIn. If you want the information, you can kind of DM me. And if you want to test it out for yourself, I'll send you over some information of different tools that you can use. And thank you. If you have any questions, please do let me know.
That was amazing. Can we please have a big virtual round of applause? That was wonderful.
Thank you.
So how many tools are you using? I was like, she's using a lot of tools. How many?
It depends on the day, but I use ChatGPT every single day. And then any other day, like if I'm creating something specific, I'll use a different tool. But I'm not using all of them every day. But based on what I'm creating, I'll use a specific tool to help me.
The LinkedIn bit really intrigued me because this is going to sound negative. I'm not being negative, but I was like, what is a good profile? What is good?
Mm-hmm.
Let's just put me something about what actually is good, because it's saying what's good for the LinkedIn platform, but that may not apply to different countries and different cultures around the world.
Yeah. I think what it's mainly saying, like, because what you can do is you can say, hey, I'm looking for this type of job, or I'm looking for these type of people to reach out to me. And then it would base that off your profile. Like, okay, your profile doesn't include this to attract what we think would attract this person or that person that you're looking for, or job opportunity that you're looking for. So this should be more detailed like this. So I don't think it's ideally like what is a good profile. It's just like how much detail do you have in order to get to that next step or that next level or something.
So we've got a question in the chat. It is, where would you draw ethical lines, and when do you decide to use human versus AI?
Mm-hmm. So I think mainly when what I do is I always do a human version of whatever I'm trying to create. So if it's something where you're trying to just be more proficient and just faster with things, I would use AI. I don't think the lines, like when it comes to things like worrying about, how would I say this? I think worrying about like what AI is creating or the things around it that are probably more negative. If it has something that has to do with specific needs, like ChatGPT can be more negative than these other tools because these other tools are for specific things only. So it only can generate as much information that it has to give. So that's why a lot of people are moving away from like just using ChatGPT, because ChatGPT doesn't have any like boundaries as of yet with certain things. So I think when I think about being more humanized with things, like I'll still do things like write an email and won't use ChatGPT. Or sometimes I'll be like, okay, I'm writing this email, but I just need help with like just adding this one thing. But it's like in between. So it depends on like how productive I want to be. If I want to spend time using things to have an illustrator write a book, I would use that if I want things to be probably like if I want to take time writing a book. But if I want to launch the book next week, I would use AI for that.
Amazing. I think that answered the question. This has been wonderful.
If not, please do DM me on LinkedIn. I reply back to everyone. So I'm not one of
you're
those.
better than me.
Yes.
I got years ago, and I'm like, what?
Yes. So if you do, thank you all so much. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoy the rest of the sessions.
Thank you so much. You can I'll do an actual audio one.
Thank you. Thank you.
Might be silent claps. We're not doing it. Do some sound. But everyone, stay here. I'm gonna go find the next speaker. I'll be back very soon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.